Hello guys, I'm Raj and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is the second part of list tutorial in Python tutorial series. So I'm making this video after 3-4 days, so I had some work to do. So finally I'm back at it. So we'll see some of the list method and functions that we can use to perform manipulations on using using tuples. So let's take this tuple as our example for today's session. So I have a is equals to 1 2 3 1 2 4. So the tuple will be something like this. So I will use this tuple for testing out different methods and functions and explain it to you. So first up, I will take up with list methods. So I have hopefully discussed about the difference between methods and function in the list tutorials. So you can check those list videos in the Python tutorial series in my channel. The link will be in the description box as well. So I will take first up, I will take the index function. So index functions, so let's say I want to check what is the index of an item present in the tuple. So I can use this index function. So I can use dot index notation for this. So let's say I want to check what is the index of 3 in this a tuple. So it will return 2. So here, yes, the value is right. So 0 1 and 2. Let's say I have multiple occurrences of an item. Let's say I want to check what is the index of 1. So it will return a value of 0. 0 is your nothing but your index. So here I have 1 at 2 locations, 0th and the third. So it will return the first occurrence index. So I can check for 2 as well. So here 2 also is occurring for 2 times. So I will get 1, which is the first occurrence of 2. Moving forward towards count function or count method. As the name suggests, if I want to check how many occurrences of an item is present in the tuple, I can use this count. Let's say I want to check for 2. So here 2 is present 2 times, so it will return 2. Let's check for 4. So 4 is here only present 1 time, so it will return the value of 1. So moving forward towards tuple functions. So tuple functions are mostly generic, as we saw in list and strings as well. So I have the length function to get the number of items present in the tuple. So I can use this len, and I'll pass the tuple that I want the number of items for. So I will get the value of 6 because here tuple is containing 6 items. Let's say I use this max function. Let's say I want to check what is the maximum value present in the tuple. So in this case, I am taking an assumptions that I only have numerical values present in the tuple. So let's say you have a multicultured tuple where you have list strings as well. So in that case, this max and min function won't work because we can't perform the greater than or less than operation between a string and an integer or a float value. So let's say I will check for what is the maximum value present in a, so which is 4, which is correct. Opposite to max, I have min function, so I will use this min of a to get the minimum value present in the tuple. So I'll get 1. It is also true. Moving on to the sorting. So it is there is one thing to notice here and remember as well. So tuple is is an immutable object or immutable data type. So we cannot change the order of elements that was initially mentioned or initially declared in the tuple. So let's say I want to check, I want to transfer the item from the second position to the 4th position. No, I cannot do that. So similarly, sorting is also like transferring of elements as only. So in the same tuple, I cannot perform like sorting or transfer of elements. So that's why we don't have any sort method for tuple. Instead, we can use the general sort function, which can be which can take lists or numbers directly as well. So we can use the sorted method, or sorted function, not sort method. So here Python we have sorted method. So sorted method, what it does is it will take your object, it will convert it to list and then perform the sorting operation, and then it will return that sorted list. So it will not perform operation in place. So if I want to sort, the above tuple, which is 1 2 3 1 2 4. So and as soon as I pass this A, so it will return a sorted list. So here these notations are important. It is returning a list or a sequence of elements in the square bracket, which is essentially a list. So it is not doing anything with the original tuple or the tuple A. The tuple is still the same. It is just returning a sorted list, which was earlier a tuple. So next up, we want to traverse your tuple. So traversing is pretty much similar to or almost similar to what we have in list. So I can use the iterable property of list of tuple, such that I can directly use. I can directly take the values from the tuple and I can directly perform operations on it. So here I am performing 1 2 3 1 2 4. So I am traversing over the list, over the tuple. I can use indexes as well. So for that I need to specify a range which will start from 0. Obviously if you don't mention 0, it is also well. I can, if I by default it takes the starting point as 0 and the ending point is nothing but your length of tuple, so which is length of A. And I can use A square brackets I, which is your taking using your indexes to get the values present in the tuple. So it will return the same output as the above but using indexes. So next up, with one more important function that we need to we can use whenever we want is nothing but is zip. So zip function, what it does is, let's say you have two tuples. Let's take a small example. Let's say I have a tuple having roll numbers of some students and I have a separate tuple having names of the student, and I want to use both of the information together in order to perform some operation. So I can use this zip function to perform that operation. So let's say so there is one thing to keep in mind, that length of the tuple, both tuples should be same. You cannot use zip function when you have varying number of lengths in both arrays or both tuples. So in that case, it will it will stack up both the list in a single line or a single column, and you can access both like items from the both tuple in a single instant. So that's how we can use. So let's take I will take this small example. So I have this tuple which is question, having name, quest and favorite color as the values, and I have the second tuple as answers, which is Adam, Holy Grail and Blue. I have taken this question from somewhere from the internet. You can find similarly other questions or other examples as well. So I will use for iterator loop. I will have Q and A as two iterator variables. So like remember, you are taking out values from two lists, so you need to have two iterator variables, one for each tuple. Sorry, no, you are iterating for two tuples at the same time, so we need two iterator variables. So I will take Q and A, so you can take another A and B as well. So Q for question and A for answer. I will use this zip function and I will pass both the tuples in it. So here ordering is important. So if you are mentioning your question as first, then you will get Q, you will get a question which is like, you will get this values in this Q part, and you will get Adams and Holy Grail in the A part. If you have the third array, you have the third tuple, then you have to define a third iterator variable as well. So here I will go from, in the first instance I will get Adam and name, then I will get question Holy Grail, and then third iteration I will get favor color and blue. So you can use this print function in order to have a beautiful output or a good output. So I will essentially I will use the format function for it. So essentially what this code will produce is, it is a question answer session kind of thing. So it will replace this as the question and this point as the answer. So it will essentially give us the output that what is your name. So it is Adam. So I have predefined question and answer. So I'm just printing it out in a good way. So last topic of this video is nested tuples. So we have seen nested list, so which is similarly we have nested tuples, so which is again not immutable, sorry, which are immutable, so you cannot change any ordering of the elements, but you can have nested elements present in the particular object. So let's say I have this object present over here. I have I have created this nested list, so nested tuple. So I have 50, 70, 90, and this fourth item of the tuple, which is also a tuple. So nested tuples mean that you can have multiple tuples in a nested form. So here essentially you have only 4 items, so which have the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then here we in the in the fourth item we have the sub items here. So in order to get the sub items, I need to first get to the third item, or essentially the fourth item and the third index. Let's say I want to check what is the item or what is the value of that item at the third index. So I can use the same bracket notations and I will get a list. I will get a tuple because the value at the third index is a tuple. Let's say I want to check what is the second or the what is the sub item value at the first index of that third item. I will get 120. I have to specify one more square bracket likewise. So that's it in this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Take care of your health, and we will meet next time. Till then, if you haven't subscribed this channel, please subscribe it. If you have any doubt, please ask in the comment section. I will be more than happy to clear your doubts. Till then, this is Raj signing out.